Alright guys, so in today's video we are going to be replacing the downstream oxygen sensor on my 2015 Nissan Altima. So here we have a Denso oxygen sensor. I believe this is the OEM. So this is what the replacement unit looks like. As a matter of fact, let me open up the bag so you guys can get a better look. So here it is, guys. It even comes with its own Denso anti-seize. But I don't think you need to put any of that on here, because guess what? The oxygen sensor actually comes pre-lubed with anti-seize. Most manufacturers will do this for you, so there's really no sense in using this. I'll save this for another project. This looks very similar to the original one that's on the car now. Here's the connector. And then you're also going to need an oxygen sensor socket set. You can rent these from AutoZone. Surprisingly, this was really cheap. The last time I rented this tool, I want to say it ran me about 45 bucks. For some reason, today when I went to go pick this up, it was about $32. I was shocked because I was expecting to pay more, but yeah, you have everything that we need. Ideally, you want to get the most leverage as possible on that oxygen sensor. I'm going to test fit this to see which one fits, and then I'll let you guys know which one will be the best one to use. So stand by. So if you're wondering why I have a torque wrench on this wheel, it's because I finally got around to cleaning up all of that residual grease from that busted CV axle. It's all nice and clean now. No, I didn't film it because I didn't think you guys would be interested in just watching me perform a boring task, such as cleaning up some residual grease. I want to say this one is going to be the best one. This one will fit your 3/8, but I prefer the 1/2 inch only because that gives me more leverage. Here's the 1/2 inch. Here I have my Z Creeper. This is a gift from my wife, and it's gonna come in really handy today. So hopefully you guys can see everything there. So the first thing we're gonna do is dislodge the downstream oxygen sensor wire loom from this bracket right here. Should be able to just lightly pull on it like I did there. And then tucked up here, you can actually see it right here. This is the clip that supports the harness for the oxygen sensor. You want to get that undone. I'm going to see if I have a pair of pliers that I can get up in here and squeeze with. So in case you were wondering, gee, why is he replacing the downstream oxygen sensor? Is it bad? Well, in a mechanical testing sense, I would say probably not. But I do believe it is the source of the issue that we're having as of late. We've been getting an intermittent check engine light for PO420. Now, before you go jumping into the comments, or even worse, thumbs downing the video, because it's like, hey, replacing a downstream oxygen sensor is not a fix for PO420. That usually means your catalytic converter is bad. Yes, you are absolutely correct. However, before we fire our parts cannon at a very expensive and somewhat complicated part to remove, I figured that we would try this repair because it is cheap and it's easier to perform. Now comes the hard part, getting the sensor unplugged here. Sadly, it looks like our plastic connector did not cooperate. It chose to break instead. There we go. Now over here, that's where our oxygen sensor is. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get that guy removed now. So we ended up having to size down to the 3/8 after all, because sadly the 1/2 inch was just too beefy. So hopefully we have enough leverage. Oh, well, that was easy. I was just saying, hopefully we have enough leverage to get in here. We had just enough. Now to get the tool back out. Hopefully you guys are able to see what I'm doing, because I'm sure not able to see what I'm doing. I'm over here working blind. So here comes our oxygen sensor. Finally. Let's compare the OEM and the aftermarket. Looks like I got a little bit of anti-seize on there. I'm going to clean that up really quick. But side by side, these look identical. Oh, and this sensor, it's made in Japan, guys. See that? I'm trying to see if these guys are the same or not. It looks like it is. NS21. Now that I've turned my flash off, maybe you can see that better. It says NS21. Same part number. Let's clean off some of the anti-seize there, because we don't want that on our new sensor. We're going to use this guy to clean up our oxygen sensor. Alright, nice and clean now. Let's go ahead and get that installed. We're going to get this reinstalled and snug by hand here before we put our oxygen sensor socket back on here. Again, you want to try and keep the wires from getting too tangled up here. I mean, it is going to get somewhat tangled up. Not much you can do about it. Just try and minimize it as much as you can. Alright, so that's snug now. So now we're going to move our connector up out the way. And then we're going to come in with our oxygen sensor socket. Get that seated on there. So you guys just seen I moved it around just a little bit, just to get it into the desired position here. There, got it. Here we are retightening things, and that's nice and snug. Now to get it back out. Yeah, we got it back out. I'm gonna make sure our wires aren't all snarled up here. You want it to be as straight as possible. Now we're just gonna plug in our oxygen sensor. There we go. Whew. That was not easy to do one-handed, let me tell you. And that clip is broken, so this is no longer gonna sit still there. But the one thing that you want to make sure that you have going for you, get this wire right here, this wire loom, reseated into this clip here. Man, got it. And you want to try and do that without chafing the wire. And there you have it. One downstream oxygen sensor reinstalled. About a year ago, we started getting this intermittent CAD efficiency code. And the reason why I decided to replace the oxygen sensor versus the catalytic converter is because the oxygen sensor, it's a lot cheaper. This thing was 90 bucks or so with shipping. I'll be sure to stick a link for this oxygen sensor in the description of the video. On my R50 Pathfinder, I was getting some erroneous oxygen sensor codes and other codes that didn't make sense either. CAD efficiency codes too. And I was about ready to load up the parts cannon and fire it at getting replacement cats for my R50 Pathfinder. But something just told me to try replacing the downstream oxygen sensor, the one that the computer kept saying that there was something wrong with it. And turns out that the oxygen sensor itself was still reading, but the heater feature inside of it had failed. So it was intermittently working, and whenever that happens, it could cause the vehicle's computer to throw erroneous codes and have you replacing things that have nothing to do with the root cause of the check engine light. And if my assumptions are correct, and if the logic with the engine control computer for this 5th gen Altima is anything like the parameters for my R50 Pathfinder, I'm assuming that replacing this is gonna fix it, because here's what's been happening. Check engine light will be off, you'll be driving, everything will be normal, and then out of nowhere it just pops back on. And it always seems to happen right as I'm about to park the vehicle, or as of late I noticed it will pop on right after a hard pull or hard acceleration. And the car runs fine otherwise. And I should also mention, if you continue to drive the car for a few more miles, it will then shut itself back off again. Yeah, that's why we decided to replace the sensor. If the oxygen sensor fixes that code and it goes away and stays away, and I'm happy. And we would have fixed it for the cheap. And based on tribal knowledge with another Nissan that we've worked on with similar issues in the past. Which, by the way, currently has no check engine lights. Yes! It was the Downstream Bank 2 sensor. So the sensor that's on the downstream side of the exhaust on the driver's side. That's Bank 2. Replaced that thing, haven't seen a check engine light since. The reason why we went for the downstream sensor is because this is the one that we refer to as the tattletale or the snitch. If something's not right in the exhaust, this oxygen sensor will tell the computer like, hey, you know, the engine's not running right. We have extra fuel and hydrocarbons coming in here. You know, the cat might not be working right. You might want to look at that, you know? And that's what I think's going on. I think that this sensor is just broken down. It's old, it's tired. The car right now, it has about 128,000 miles on it. And yeah, you know, these things, they do go bad eventually. They don't last forever. They last quite a while, but not forever. So what I think is that this sensor, it's been sending erroneous data back to our engine control computer and saying, hey, the cat's not doing its job. Let's look at that and check it out and get it replaced. When all it can be is just this not metering things correctly and causing those types of trouble codes. So again, I hope this helps someone. Thanks again for stopping by the Camper Dan Files. My name is Chris, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. It was a quick, simple, easy repair. Just remove and replace, and that's it. Be mindful of the plastic, its age, and all of the heat cycles that it's gone through, because chances are that plastic clip that holds the oxygen sensor harness in place, it's probably gonna snap off. And if it does, it's not a big deal. Don't beat yourself up so much. Just make sure you clip the wire loom back into that aluminum bracket. That keeps things from moving around and possibly touching the exhaust directly and burning up.